Hi everybody. So here we're going to try something different. So the honest truth from an expat viewpoint about Nicaragua. So I was going to call it the good, the bad, and the ugly. But you know, let's be honest. If it was that ugly, would I be really here? I mean, some of you know me well enough that if it is as bad as people tend to say, I wouldn't be here. I got many different options, but I love where we are. Nevertheless, there are some uglies here. So let's talk about the first one that always comes to mind when you're talking to expats. The high cost of utility, electricity to be, so that's number one. What can you do with the high cost of electricity? Number one, don't use air conditioning. We don't. So find a cool place to live. We live outside of Granada. So inside of Granada, we hear a lot of complaints. Oh, Paul, it's so hot here and it is humid here. And we have the air conditioning going on the whole time. And that's expensive. Yeah, we agree with you. Get the ceiling fans going and get acclimated. Here in our office, we got 4 ceiling fans going. Is it bearable? It's bearable. Is it hot? It's hot, but it's bearable. You get acclimated, okay? So that is the point I would like to make to the negative about the high cost of electricity. 2, utilities going on and off. Yes, we lose service on Wi-Fi, we lose service on electric, and we lose water. There's many ways to solve that problem. One of them is on the Wi-Fi, you can get a SIMS card as a backup to your Wi-Fi, okay? We have done that and we have said, you know, for the amount of times we lose Wi-Fi, maybe that's a good time to just take some rest and relax and not worry about business. So we look at it as a mini vacation. So if you don't hear from us, it's because the Wi-Fi went off and we want a mini vacation. So that's the good part. What about electricity? Well, get a generator. I have a generator, and the few times the electric has gone out, I basically go outside, jump the generator, and boom, we're back. That is certainly for us a better option than going on the solar grid. Why? Because we already have the infrastructure for electricity. I have calculated it, and my break-even point to put solar is between 10 to 15 years, okay? Not worth it. Not for me. Might be worth it for you. Now, if you're building a new property, a new home, maybe evaluate going solar versus electric, okay? Water, solution, easy. 2 of them. We get lots of rain in our area, so we have lots of capture of rainwater. And I mean a lot. We have over 150 gallons that we capture. No, excuse me, 1,500. My apologies, 1,500, okay? We also, for example, have a large water tank underground where we get city water, and we have enough supply to keep on running if the city goes out of water off the grid for a few days. We only had one time a problem, and the problem was caused by staff turning off the water line. So we didn't know we had no water in the tank until we were completely depleted. The next 2 days, we were back on, all is fine, we could go take showers, all happy. So number 4, VAT. Oh, I skipped one, sorry, go back. The poor infrastructure, okay? Now, one thing that we know, since we travel a lot, the roads here, comparatively to some of the other countries we have gone to, are so much better. But you also got to realize Nicaragua is humongous. I mean, it's the largest country in Central America. So to build the infrastructure that is required to be comparative to, let's say, Costa Rica, Panama, or even El Salvador and Guatemala, takes a lot of money. So there are a lot of dirt roads, okay? And there are many times that are passable, except during the rainy season they become less passable, like in San Juan del Sur or other areas. Okay guys, I'm going to have to stop. Listen to the racket. So this is the bad. It's cars driving by and just making a racket, and I'm trying to work. Like a dancer. Yeehaw! So we got interrupted by the phone, and that is of course sometimes a negative in this business, that you're doing something and you get interrupted. Okay, so let's go back to the infrastructure. I was talking about the rainy season. One way you can solve that, you will see a lot of people driving with pickup trucks, like the 𝐼𝐿𝐿𝐼, like the Nissan, etc. What I did to solve my problem of movability, I got a motorcycle. So some of us have different options how we wish to move around the country, okay? VAT. VAT is value added tax. Basically on all goods and services, restaurants, food stores, grocery stores, you name it, there are taxes, right? Some items are not taxed, others are taxed, okay? But overall, it's 15%. So if you are going to the restaurant and it says $1, assume right away it's $1.15. However, hold on, add 10%. Why the 10%? It's for your server, okay? So it's basically $1 on your menu means $1.25, okay? So let's continue. Mold, number 5, during the rainy season. What you will notice during the rainy season, you'll have to clean a lot more because of the accumulation of mold in your kitchen, cupboards, clothes, etc. So one of the things that we do is have various fans going in our closets. That's one way. The other thing is we have some carbon coal, black coal, and we put that in different areas to suck up the humidity. But there's only so much you can do. The good news is after the rainy season is gone, it stops, right? So during the dry season, you won't see much mold. Of course, you could say, I want to live in a dry area, but then you won't have a lot of growing plants or vegetable gardens, and you will have to basically use city irrigation or create a well, okay? So imported foodstuff, that would be number 6. The imported foodstuff basically adds to the cost of not only food, but also of electronics, etc. And you will see the cost of, let's say, apples. That's horrendous cost. I've seen apples for $1 a piece, which is quite a bit, in my personal opinion. For some of you that are vegetarians, you might say, no, that's a pretty good price. So in veggies and fruits, grapes and things like that are imported. It can be quite expensive, and that happens quite often too. You'll hear the horn because people are not moving around. Part of life here in Granada.
Wake you up.
So that was Dana. She wanted to basically interrupt and say that the birds are loud. Yes, they are loud. So if you live on a farm, yes, shame on you, Dana. When you live on a farm, it can be bloody loud and it will wake you up. So we'll put that as item number 7 for loud animals. Oh, and bombas, okay? That's fireworks. They can go off and off for no reason. 5 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, you name it. You will have fireworks going off. And especially during special events, they go off for no reason whatsoever at whatever time they want to do it, okay? So now we are at number 8, trash. Trash is everywhere. There is no centralized collection system, in my personal opinion, where they take trash, recycle trash, etc. So trash on the street, people throwing trash in through their outside their windows. Like I said, trash everywhere. But the good part is that you see the cities like Granada, Managua, and everybody cleaning up the streets pretty well. So you might see trash, and it's mainly more so on the highways where you see more trash than you see inside of towns. But yeah, trash is a problem. Okay, there might be a solution to that. The other thing is animals. Okay, so that would be number 9. The treatment of animals. It's that's something that I wonder about once in a while, but it's part of their way of life, the way of life here in Nicaragua. You know, we can have a negative viewpoint, but it's a horse is a workhorse. Some people have horses that are show horses and they look a heck of a lot better than the workhorse. Seeing the carriage, where they give you carriage rides, some horses are in better shape than others. There should be a solution to all these problems. It takes money, right? So one thing that we do for the animals, and it's here in our office, I will show you this later, but we have basically a bowl. Right now there's a bird there eating from the bowl, but we put dog food out there and water every day to help the street dogs. So we take the initiative, and some other expats and other locals take initiatives how we help with the animals, okay? We have SOS animal care groups, various groups that do neutering, that take care of animals that are being mistreated, okay? Enough said about animals. Number 10, accessibility of drugs. I'm not talking illegal drugs, so if that was what's on your mind, get off. But we have Dana. Thank you, honey. She's constantly egging me on, and I'm going to start saying Dana this or Dana that. Maybe she'll stop interrupting my videos. So accessibility of drugs. Drugs here are easy to get. You don't need a prescription, and most drugs are accessible. But as I said in one of my previous videos on the cost of living here in Nicaragua, I get my prescriptions in the US because I use what they call the GoodRx app, and it saves me a tremendous amount of money. But there's a negative. I have to first get a prescription from the doctor, and doctor will need to do a physical, etc., etc. So overall, the cost of that drug is not as cheap as you think it is. I would still say that drugs in the US are probably around 50 cents cheaper, or percentage cheaper, than here in Nicaragua on some drugs like Lipitor, so that, or acid reducer. Those are the ones I know of because I buy those, okay? So let's talk about the poor telephone service. Oh my God, it can be terrible. And it's all because they don't have 5G like in the US now. I think we're still 3G. And so it makes it hard to communicate at times with clients. So that's why you use WhatsApp and you connect it to your Wi-Fi system. There's always a solution to a negative. That's the way I look at it. That's the beauty of living here. Find the opposite of a negative and you'll find a positive. I do. Number 12, unable to buy a car in your name. So if you are a tourist, you can buy actually buy real estate, but you can't buy a car. And some of you that have bought real estate want to buy a car for movability from one place to another. So what you do is you ask somebody that you trust and have a relationship with and have them put that in their name. So there's a solution to that. Political, number 12. That's a very short comment, and it's this. The best way to be in the political discussion is to say nothing. We're a guest in this country. Either you want to make comments, don't be a guest because they will not appreciate your comments. What we have done is to say it is what it is. We're a guest and we want to remain a guest. That's all that we want to say. Number 13, police everywhere. Yes, we get stopped quite often, and what they're doing is just to make sure that everybody has insurance, at least for us, insurance, make sure that we abide by the laws. I get stopped once in a while because I make an error. Shh, don't tell people. I make an error, and yeah, they give me a little lecture. So far, I have been lucky. I've been told to go on, but be careful. So if it's a solid line, that means don't pass. It's kind of hard to do when you have a car that's going 20 miles an hour and you want to go 50, and that little baby is not going faster than that. Patience. That's a virtue that we learn here. If you want to pass, go, but you will get a ticket. If not, you could beg for ignorance. I do that once in a while, okay? So, next one, 14. Can't even write my writing here. Oh yeah, so basically on traffic, it is, so sorry guys, I couldn't read my handwriting. I had to read my notes really quick one. So the next point was 14, and that is related to the bus service. Okay, smart Alec, that is to Donna. She says, well, why don't you just say at the end, if you see a discrepancy in my number counting, just make a note and send me a message. And she's joking, okay? But I want to tell you that was her comment. That's why I stopped it for a second to kind of have a little conversation with her. Okay, number 13, transportation. That is one thing that is just awesome here. Chicken bus, tuk-tuk, the taxi around town here. A lot of the expats that live, for example, in Granada, they just take a cabbie. Anywhere around Granada, it's less than $1, okay? So if that's what you need, you can go all around town, okay? And it's a co-share, like how you call those, not YouTube. What? That's a brain fart. I was trying to find out the name of Uber. So Uber rideshare, but it's not an Uber at all, of course, but they'll pack it in. So they will stop every 5-10 seconds and then ask the next person, do you go here or there? I'll take you, okay? So if you want it private, it's going to cost you a little bit more, but you can get it private where you stop one and say, hey, can you do me a private service to take me to this spot? It can be done. Chicken bus. Oh, you can take a chicken bus and you're going to be packed in like chickens, and they will stop everywhere and nowhere. There's not a stop sign that says here we stop. No, you flag it, they stop right there, right? And they will stop right in the middle of the road. So when you're driving, keep your distance, because if you're not paying attention, they don't use turn signals. So if you're not paying attention, you will be hitting that bus, the tuk-tuk, or that taxi. So be very, very cautious, okay? Night driving. I've talked about that before, so let's call that number 14, night driving. I suggest don't do it. Why? Because the animals, the people, the bicycles, the motorcycles, they don't have nighttime driving clothes on, or they don't have, in general, any lights on their vehicle. So usually I don't drive at night. I stay away because there are too many animals on the road. There are too many people walking on the road, sober or not sober, and they have dark clothes on. It's very hard to see, so we do not drive at night. So that's more of a PSA, right? A public service announcement, okay? So I think we have come now to number 14, and that is technology access. Technology access like Wi-Fi and all that, it's free. You know, you can go to the parks. I don't like free because I don't know who's lurking out there. Can they get access to my data? But you can go to a restaurant and get on their system, on the Wi-Fi grid, and use it that way. The accessibility of Wi-Fi in the farms is a lot harder than if you're in town, like in Granada, in Masaya, Managua, San Juan del Sur. But if you are outside, you're going to have to use satellite dishes. So one thing I do want to talk about is 15, is venturing out, okay? To really experience what we are given to experience here in Nicaragua, the culture, its people, its environment, the different things that they have to offer besides the honking, is to go to Mombacho, it's go travel, it's go see this country. We currently have nearby us a client of us that bought a house, and they have traveled more in 1 month, more so than any expat, or most expats have traveled in 1 month, if not in 5 years. They have gone on their motorcycle, traveled, I don't know how many kilometers, but it is significant, okay? They just got back from a 50-hour trip on motorcycle to Bluefields from Granada. As they said, their butt got kicked, okay? And what we have noticed with this couple, they are embracing their newfound home and going to meet people, meet their neighbors, go out with their neighbors, go out to these little restaurants where you almost never would find an expat, and enjoy what Nicaragua has to offer, okay? Nicaragua is a fantastic place if you open your eyes and embrace what it has to offer. If you want to gripe, it offers that opportunity too, because there are some negatives here. But to wait to look at this 15-pointer is turn it around. Every negative, from the garbage, from the way animals are treated, once you show it by example. So do like we do. Put some water out, put some food out for the pets. You know, it is what it is. Life is good. Can life be better? Oh, anywhere. I mean, I could go back to the States and I wouldn't be happy, because what I have been offered here is something I could not do in the US. Honestly, okay? I mean, I have a small farm. We grow stuff. I could do it in the States. It cost me bloody heck, because, you know, the cost of labor would be very expensive, because I don't know anything except I know how to eat. Okay? Well, I hope you enjoyed this 15, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm looking forward to your comments. Yeah, it is what it is. Have an awesome day. Thanks for listening. And I'm going to look forward to the comments that are forthcoming. Thanks.